Nowadays, no doubt due, unfortunately, to any number of scandals which have afflicted some of the archdioceses, you don't really see too many priests walking around out there anymore. But if and when you do, you no doubt see them arrayed in something like this. A modern-day clergyman's shirt, made out of some kind of synthetic, no doubt, complete with a modern-day clerical collar, which is comprised of nothing more than a simple little white plastic tab that fits into place thusly, quite unlike an original, classical, traditional clerical collar such as we have here. And this, complete with the front coverlet, which is called a ribette, with its edging, with its curvature, with its streamlined symmetry, this is beyond any question the superior ecumenical accessory. In fact, whenever I myself am called upon for any kind of ministerial services, you can rest assured that this is what I wear. In fact, I might tell you that a very trusted clergyman who I know once told me that this here is the modern day equivalent of a clerical clip-on bow tie. However, ecclesiastical sartorials are not the point of today's editorial. Today, simply and concisely, we are concerned with death. The only reason I shared these garments and their design with you is that I was put in mind of a recollection within the past couple of weeks, something from many years ago. Those of you who are not acquainted with Portland wouldn't know this, but downtown, around about Burnside and 3rd, maybe Burnside and 4th or 5th, I cannot recollect the exact corner, but right there on the corner, if it isn't a chartered church, it is at least a church-affiliated establishment. It's unmistakable. You have the church iconography, a massive bit of statuary overlooking the edifice. The sidewalk out front is stained and saturated with filth. And, not unlike a lot of churches, especially when you need them the most, the doors are bolted shut. Many years ago, I was invited to attend an event which was scheduled to take place in that establishment. The flyer entailed a roll call, basically, of everyone amongst the homeless strata who had died over the course of an entire year. They were going to offer some manner of commemorative memorial for all of those people. Because I lived downtown at the time, I felt obliged to attend. In doing so, as I sat near the back of the room, listening to the speaker up on the platform, I noticed someone slightly behind her. He emerged from a door set in the wall behind the rostrum. Very nondescript man, dressed down in a black shirt, black pants. His hands were thrust casually in his pockets, and he was just sort of strolling around in the background while she was in the middle of a eulogy. No one paid him much attention, but I began to take notice of him, wondering why exactly he was there, what he was doing up there, as he was clearly detached from this entire event. He seemed to be waiting for it to end. Then as I got a closer look at him, I realized the shirt he was wearing looked very familiar, even though the top button was unbuttoned, and there was absolutely no sign of the little white clerical collar. He was the parish priest who oversaw that establishment. Now, it's entirely possible that it was his day off. Perhaps it was casual Friday. I don't really know. All I know is that he had nothing to do with that memorial, was completely apart from it, and as I say, was simply waiting for it to end, presumably so that he could set up for bingo or so that he could just shut the doors for the night. In other words, that tribute, that memorial, meant absolutely nothing to him whatsoever. Now, on a very personal level, I remember being deeply affronted by what transcends the informality, the inappropriate informality of appearing like that. But that's just myself, and that's quite beside the point. The point being, as an ordained priest clearly demonstrated, death, as we have been told time and time again, to the extent that we are sick and tired of hearing it, has the semblance of being something which never happens to us, but only happens to other people, to other families, to other groups. It never affects you or yours. It only affects someone else, all the way up until that point in time at which it does affect you and yours. And at that juncture, you are revisited yet again with the knowledge that the finality to all life is death. And that's it. Within the space of a fortnight, within the past 2 weeks, we have lost not just one, but two incredibly hardcore, immeasurably celebrated, much beloved, and definitively badass punk rockers. And as such, the extended punk rock skinhead family is understandably heartbroken. And whereas it is often true to be said that at crossroads like these, words of consolation fail, what I have to say will, more to the point, not only seem insensitive, but possibly even downright harsh. And yet, it is a remembrance which it is imperative for you to acknowledge. And it is this: the pain, the loss, even the anguish which you are experiencing right now, it will all pass away. Because sooner or later, so will you, so will I, so will all of this. This is all transitory. It is merely transitional. It is all only temporary. And that is that. There are many of you who do not, who will not, who simply cannot subscribe to any notions of an afterlife, a hereafter, even to the idea of meeting up again on the other side. Be that the case with you, it makes acknowledging this that much more essential. You see, in this instance, all with which you are left is the here and the now, the moment at hand. And to that end, as punk rockers, this is what you must seize: the day, the moment, the here and the now. Living it and extracting from it everything that you can, for all it is or indeed isn't worth. Here and now, while you can. What better tribute could you conceivably offer to all of the punk rockers and skinheads who have gone on ahead of us than to do so in their honor, with their memories and with their spirits as your stay and your guide? I cannot think of anything more fitting than that. It is the very foundation of punk rock, to live in the moment, to live for the day. Well, that is what you must do if you are going to get through this. For the third time, that's it.